Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Orion. I got a great show for you here today between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy 4th of July weekend. We're coming off the sweep against the Angels. And again, a very interesting series with the Toronto Blue Jays up. And on the thumb, on the left, one of the newbies there on the Toronto Blue Jays, Yohendrick Pinyango. And on the right, one of the best catchers in the game, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Now let's get into the starting lineups here. First are the visiting Toronto Blue Jays. Leading off for the Blue Jays in right field, Nathan Lucas. Batting second, playing first base, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Batting third, from Japan, third baseman, Kazuma Okamoto. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, center fielder, Dalton Varsho. Batting fifth, catching today for Toronto, Alejandro Kirk. Batting sixth, playing left field, Yohendrick Pinyango. Batting seventh, playing second base, Ernie Clement. Batting eighth, DHing today for the Blue Jays, Sean Keys. And batting ninth, playing shortstop for Toronto, Andres Jimenez. And on the mound for Toronto with a 4-4 record, an ERA of 3.02, it is Dylan Cease. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at third base, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting third, DHing for Seattle, the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting fifth, playing first base, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting sixth, playing right field, Luke Raley. Batting seventh, playing second base, Cole Clutch Young. Batting eighth in center field, Victor Robles. And batting ninth at shortstop for the Mariners, Colt Emerson. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 3-6 record, ERA of 4.93, it's La Piedra, Luis Castillo. Tridents up, let's go M's. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. And obviously we got a little bit of an injury report to be able to announce. And obviously we saw Julio Rodriguez, go from first to second base. And as they were trying to pull off a double play, they hit Julio in the back of the head, the Angels. He ended up playing for another inning, but now he's on the 7-day injured list for a concussion. It's kind of precautionary, just making sure that he's okay, but definitely is going to hurt not having Julio in the lineup. And then obviously they have to be able to bring somebody up. And someone that should have never left the team, Miles Mastrobuoni, will take his place short term. And then we'll see what happens with Julio. He may end up coming back before the whole 7 days is up. But again, we're going to definitely miss Julio. I'm glad to have Mastrobuoni back. And again, we just got to be able to do the best that we can with what we have to work with. 50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners. 40 plus years on the radio for this legend and icon, and every single stream we will dedicate it to one of my favorites of all time, Rick Riz. And shout out to all the individuals that helped yesterday, obviously with the dono train for Paisley, with that emergency visit to the vet. I highly appreciate it, and every dono that we get this month will go towards that bill. First pitch from Castillo to Lucas, takes a strike looking low and away. 1-0 count, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, little slow dribbler up the middle. Cole Clutch Young is there. Throw to first, and that is one away. Cole Young in top 3 for second basemen in the American League in many, many categories. And again, there's going to be a few guys that may not end up making the All-Star game, but that are deserving based on their play, like Cole Clutch Young and guys like Bryce Miller that may not have enough innings pitched to qualify, but based on how they played this year, definitely All-Star worthy. First pitch is high and away from Castillo to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Top of the first inning, 0-0, Blue Jays and Mariners. Happy 4th of July weekend. 1-0 pitch, popped up in foul territory, and diving for it, and just can't get to it in time, Josh Naylor. And that is still going to be 1 ball and 1 strike to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. All day in the building, Hawks in the building, Mike in the building, all the regulars in the building, Callie in the building, I see you. Appreciate you guys. Let's get it, baby. Jack in the building, Rebecca in the building. Let's go. Shout out to our female audience, as well as all of our new subs, as well as all of the OGs and the regulars, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Castillo to Guerrero. And I know it stinks, that Julio got hurt. But we also, could be out with Victor Robles, but he's going to tough it out and play in center field after he got hit on the wrist. It was very possible that he could have went to the IL, but the x-rays were negative. So I guess we have to be happy that we didn't lose 2 players. We just lost 1. Obviously, Julio more valuable than Victor. But, again, with all the injuries that we've had this season, it's not like anything that we can't overcome. It's the most injuries that this team has ever had in the last 40 years. As far as a first half of a season. And again, it peaks and valleys. We're still in first place or tied for first place with the Rangers, with everything going sideways for us for a majority of this first part of the year. We have to be happy that we're not 15 games below 500. And again, it stinks with the injuries, but it's, something that we can definitely overcome. I'm confident about that. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Slider missing there by Luis Castillo. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the first inning, 0-0, Blue Jays and Mariners. Happy 4th of July weekend. 3-2 pitch. Popped up and out of play. And obviously I'll be at the game tomorrow for the 4th of July, so there won't be a stream. But I'll probably post some photos on socials and here on the YouTube channel. Probably not a lot, but just, maybe 1 or 2 and whatnot. I'm going to enjoy myself at the game, try to get a foul ball. 3-2 pitch. Fouled off towards first base and out of play. And Naylor's hustling, going into the front row, into the netting, but can't get to it. And I will be back for the Sunday broadcast, which is going to be at 2 o'clock Pacific, and it's going to be a Peacock exclusive. And I know not everyone's got Peacock, but you have me. So, again, if you don't have access to Peacock or you don't subscribe, it will not be on Mariners TV or any other broadcast besides Peacock on Sunday. We got George Kirby on the mound on Sunday. Obviously, you see Luis Castillo, La Piedra here tonight, and we're going to be piggybacking tomorrow. I'm going to get Logan Gilbert and Emerson Hancock on the mound tomorrow, and I'm kind of excited and looking forward to it. 3-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking. There we go. La Piedra getting the job done. And again, we know that Luis Castillo is by far our worst pitcher, on the starting 6, in the rotation. But with that being said, he did have actually one of his best starts of the year, his last start. So again, even though things have gone sideways for, Mooney, our closer, and still sometimes continue to be kind of shaky, the same thing can be said for Castillo as well. But they do have flashes where they actually show that they belong. And hopefully Castillo will pitch like he did in his last start. Magic number for the Mariners will be 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, and we want Castillo to give up 3 runs or less. And if he's able to do that with our bullpen, hopefully pitching halfway decent, we should be able to compete, if not win this game. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss there from Okamoto. And who would have thought, after getting rid of Bo Bichette to the Mets, right? 1-2 pitch. Just got a little bit of a tip there from Kazuma Okamoto. But from Japan, we've seen obviously Munetaka Murakami before he got his hamstring injury. He was the identity, of the Chicago White Sox for being a bottom feeder team. We know how good the Blue Jays were last year. They were in the World Series. They beat us in the ALCS, but they haven't had the year that they thought they were going to have. Bichette is on the Mets. Vladdy is having a down year. Springer obviously is having a baby, and obviously he's not playing tonight, but he'll probably be available tomorrow. But Okamoto, 19 homers, number 1 on the team. Who would have thought? Slow dribbler to JP, off a bounce, and another bad throw there by JP. I don't know if that's going to be an error to Josh Naylor. But again, JP, you got to figure it out, my guy. It seems like every throw that goes from your area to Naylor lately has not been on point. And I know it's a long throw, but again, off of one hopper, I guess Naylor could have moved a little bit to try to get that he leaned. But again, we got to be on a better page, and another error by JP Crawford. And it's starting to become a daily routine. So we definitely need Brendan Donovan back at third, or, maybe Miles Mastrobuoni. I know he'll be able to get the ball at third base, to Josh Naylor. He may not be as good of a hitter as JP from time to time, but these errors are getting a little ridiculous. JP better make up for it like he did yesterday. And that is popped up by Varsho, and that is out number 3. So at least if you get an error, don't let him score. But definitely a little bit concerning with JP, has had a lot of errors, not only at shortstop, but at third base, a harder position to play. All right, so down goes Varsho with the pop-up there. And now let's go to the bottom of the first inning, and let's see if we can get on the board. And we want to make sure we can score early and often. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning, 0-0 Blue Jays and Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, third baseman J.P. Crawford. Make up for the error. Ice water in your veins in the box, but golly, your defense is not good at third lately. Got to call a spade, even if it's on our own team. Batting second, left fielder Randy Arosarena. Hopefully we don't get too many ground balls in left field. And batting third, the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. Could this be the day we get a Dom bomb? I sure as hell hope so. Trident's up. Let's go M's. We're only 6 subs away from 24,400. 106 from 24,500. So hopefully we'll be able to gain a little bit of ground. I know we're going to get 6 subs today to keep it moving. And we're only 606 subs away from 25,000 subs, which is very, very exciting. And we'll be shooting for 100 on the dono train. Every single dono we get today and the rest of July will go towards the Paisley Pup Vet Fund with that emergency visit to the vet that I had to go yesterday. We got about a quarter of the donos to go towards that yesterday. And thank you to everyone that participated in the dono train yesterday. It really does mean a lot. All right, we're at 31 likes, 69 to go. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Chicken in the building. What's good? Donkey's in the building. Spokane Dude in the building. Tony in the building. Happy early 4th of July. Hope everyone will have a lot of fun out there. Whether you're lighting off fireworks or going to a show. Obviously, I'm going to the Mariner game tomorrow against the Blue Jays and get a chance to spend some time with my best friend, which I'm very excited about that. We'll be able to listen to, some music, some probably old school music, some Green Day and, whatever we feel like on the ride up. And then a lot of snacks will be consumed. And then we'll do a little in and out. Obviously on the way back. So I'm definitely looking forward to the whole experience, and I hope everyone has a safe and fun 4th of July weekend. 0-1 pitch is low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. 1-1 pitch in there for a strike, looking with the slider, 87 miles an hour there by Dylan Cease. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the first inning, 0-0, Blue Jays and Mariners. And obviously Paisley still has the cone. Definitely the medication. There's 3 different separate medications that I'm giving her, but it seems like she's reacting to it well. She's not throwing up anymore like she was in the previous 3 days, which is nice. And slowly but surely she'll be able to get to where she needs to be. The cone will have to be worn for a couple weeks, but it is what it is. Pitch is fouled off behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. All day TJ in the building. What's good? Very cool that they had Team USA out there throwing the first pitch and getting introduced. And hopefully they'll be able to win their matchup, obviously with their best player with the red card. In the previous matchup won't be available, but I still think USA will have a very good chance of advancing. Pitch is high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. 3-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and down goes J.P. And that is 1 up and 1 down. Next up is left fielder Randy Arozarena. On deck is Dominic Canzone. Bash with a 50. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Every single dono, like I mentioned, will go towards the Paisley Pup Vet Fund, which was an emergency visit, 3, vet visits in 3 months, totaling $1,100. Not anything I was expecting. So anything that can be done is greatly appreciated. Go Ems, and thank you so much. $50 holla to start it off. Bash, I appreciate you more than you know. 50 to start off, 50 to go for our first goal. Thank you guys very, very much. Bash, you are an MVP. No balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Sean in the building, what's good? Hopefully your puppers are doing well. And again, hopefully Paisley won't have any more vet visits because I'm capped out. Again, normally it's once a year, and 3 times in 3 months is, making me want to pull my hair out. But again, she's the most important thing in my life. So, her safety and her health is my number 1 priority. I got to be a good dog father to my dog daughter. And again, you got to do whatever it takes, to make sure that they are okay. And, again, any type of help and support that we can get on the channel is greatly appreciated. Pitch fouled off there by Randy Arozarena. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by Dylan Cease. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. 1-2 pitch, low and away. Good eye there by Randy. Not swinging at that low and away garbage where we have seen a lot of the Mariner hitters. Julio, even though he's on the injured list with the concussion for 7 days. Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena, Josh Naylor, just to name a few. About half of our lineup, a little overly aggressive, but it works sometimes, if you can swing at the first pitch and it's, just so happens it's right down the middle, and then you can end up getting a single, double, or home run. But I feel like pitchers and hitters, within the last couple years, it's changed. It's not necessarily the pitchers are going right down the middle to get ahead of the count 0-1 anymore. It used to be like that in the 80s and 90s. And within the last, 10 to 15 years, that was kind of the goal. As Randy Arozarena gets punched out, is he challenging? Got an ABS challenge here. I think this might have hit the corner, though. And that is going to be strike 3. Confirmed. Randy is out, and that is 2 up and 2 down. We're down to only 1 challenge. I'm not sure if I would have challenged that, and also I don't know if I really like Randy in the 2-hole and whatnot. But again, if you end up going right down the middle, yeah, you can get the 0-1 count, but you also can throw low and away. And if you get someone to chase, 0-1 count. Then they end up getting a pitch down the middle that they were expecting in pitch 1. Oh, they foul it off. Now you're in an 0-2 count. And most Mariner batters that get into an 0-2 count, what happens? They strike out. Sometimes pop up and ground out, but it usually ends up being an out. And it's pretty rare to go from an 0-2 and then, forcing a walk, which Cal Raleigh did for us to be able to get our 1-0 victory yesterday and bring in JP from third, but it's pretty rare. 0-1 pitch, low and away to the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone, and hopefully we can get a Dom bomb here today. Yeah. The puppers are our kids. That's true. And again, for some of us, including myself, some people have kids, and then they also have the pups, which there are, they're fur babies, but there's also people out there like myself, where, I don't have a son or a daughter, so Paisley is essentially my dog daughter, and, she saved my life more than once, and it means everything to me, just like you guys as well. 2-1 pitch to Dominic Canzone. Hard hit ball in the left field, fading out of play. Count now is 2 balls and 2 strikes from Dylan Cease to Dominic Canzone. All the Rebeccas are in the building. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 2-2 pitch, and that is strike 3. Cease is on point early. And again, if we're going to be, striking out, looking or, obviously swinging, let's drop some bunts down, and again, let's try to go with some small ball. We got to get guys on base. We need to be able to be efficient with stealing bags. We need to be bunting. We need to be able to do, all of the things that maybe, they don't really want to do, but we need to do to win. All right, end of the first inning. 0-0, Blue Jays and Mariners. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Blue Jays as we go to the top of the second. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up in the 5-hole, catcher Alejandro Kirk. Batting second in the 6-hole, left fielder Yohendrick Pinango. And batting third, the all-star this year, second baseman Ernie Clement. And on the mound for the Mariners with a good start in his last opportunity to show that he can get it done. 3-6 record, ERA of 4.93. At least his ERA is not in the 6s or the 5s anymore. Luis Castillo. And again, if Luis can, avoid that one bad inning that a lot of the Mariner pitchers have from time to time, where they can be clean for 2 or 3 innings, and then they only, they have that meltdown inning where they give up 1 to 5 runs. Hopefully that doesn't happen to Castillo, because even though he is our worst, he typically isn't bad inning in, inning out. It's usually pretty good, for most of the innings except for one, whether that be the 4th inning, the 5th inning, or the 6th. But, unless you get rocked early, but at least he got out of the 1st inning with nothing. And hopefully that trend will continue. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 6 subs to go to 24,400, 106 to 24,500. Gained a sub during the commercial break. Appreciate you. We're at 50 on the Dono train. The Paisley Pup Vet Fund is in full effect all month. 5 subs to go to 24,400. Really looking forward to getting that bucket hat tomorrow, even though I'm not really a bucket hat kind of guy. But any type of memorabilia that I can get, hat or bobblehead, I love adding to the collection. First pitch to Alejandro Kirk is a strike looking low and at the knees, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled that one off. Out of play. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Kirk. I mean, there's going to be games where it all comes natural, right? Where we get 1 home run, leads to another. And then sometimes when we get 2 home runs, what happens? It leads to that 3rd and that 4th, and then we go off. And then every once in a while, we'll end up getting 5 to 8 runs with no home runs or maybe just 1, But again, you just don't really know what you're going to get, game in and game out with the Mariners. You might get 6 to 8 runs like in the previous 2 games. You might have to squeeze out an ugly game and win 1-0. But again, we got the sweep. And again, we have the, as far as win-loss, records within the last few games, we're top 3, based off win streaks right now. We know the, Tampa Bay Rays are very, very hot coming into today, 8 in a row. And obviously Mariners with the sweep with 3 in a row against the Angels. And hopefully we'll be able to add on to that as well. Pitch fouled off there by Alejandro Kirk. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Castillo to Kirk. One-two pitch, little slow dribbler. Emerson is there, making a good throw, And then that's what we get, right to Josh Naylor. I mean, again, if we're going to have an error or two by JP, we can't afford, for Emerson or Young, as great as they are, we can't have them, pile on these errors. We don't want to have one of those games, where we have 2-3 errors in a game, which we've seen, a few times this season, but again, we got to be able to limit the damage. Kirk grounds out to Colt Emerson, and that is 1 away. Next up is Yohendrick Pinyango. First pitch is fouled off, out of play, 0-1 count. On deck is Ernie Clement, who will be more than likely the starter at second base for the American League. Cole Young not really getting a whole lot of love. We may or may not, have anybody in the All-Star game. I mean, as far as reserves, it might end up being Randy and Julio possibly, but again, Bryce Miller and Cole Young to me are more deserving, but again, they may not have, exactly what you're looking for based off the voters. As far as Cole Young's and his defense, he's top 2, top 3 in almost every category defensively. As far as the 15 American League second baseman, he's already one of the best already. And then obviously with Bryce Miller, doesn't really have enough innings to qualify, but he's been playing like an all-star this year. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Pinyango, and that is get him. And that is 2 away. Next up, second baseman Ernie Clement. First pitch into Clement is in there for a strike. 0-1 count. And so far, Luis Castillo looking pretty good. Doesn't look like a pitcher that's got a 3-6 record and ERA of almost 5 at 4.93. But again, as long as he can be clean and we can help him out, and hopefully we can feed off those vibes with Team USA, being there and, throwing the first pitch and having that commemorative, kind of embrace from the crowd. 4th of July vibes are always high. And usually we play very well, during this weekend. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Castillo to Clement. And this will be my third appearance on 4th of July games. Orioles, obviously 2 years ago, last year against the Pirates, and then this year with the Blue Jays. Little slow dribbler. Back to Castillo. Wow. Look at the athleticism by Castillo. That throw was not on point. He had to reach behind him, and somehow he caught the ball and ended up toe tapping the bag. Naylor, not the greatest throw, and again, obviously Castillo has to go on the run. You have to realize who you're throwing to. You're not throwing, to a first, second, shortstop or third baseman. You're throwing to the pitcher. But good job there by Castillo by not dropping that ball. And that is out number 3. And I love being able to see the athleticism, out of our pitchers, because obviously covering first, it's not something that they practice really, like bunting defense. It's not really practice. But again, when Naylor has to go after it, it's your responsibility as the pitcher to cover first. And it can kind of get scary. Sometimes they get stepped on. Sometimes they sprain an ankle. Sometimes they're clumsy and they fall down. Sometimes they injure themselves. Sometimes they drop the ball. And luckily, Luis did not there. So far, so good. I like what I'm seeing from La Piedra, and so does Rick Riz. All right, let's go to the bottom of the second inning, and it's time to get on the board. What do you say? Next up in the 4-hole, catching, it's the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. I would love a solo dinger right here. Batting second, and the 5-hole, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. You got to make up for those both opportunities with bases loaded, coming up with nothing. Let's see if we can get Naylor going early here today. And batting third, it's Mr. Hustle himself in the 6-hole, right fielder, Luke Raley. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. 5 subs to go to 24,400 on this 4th of July weekend. Now let's see where we're at on the likes. We got 146 in the room on this Friday night. 52 likes. We're halfway there. 48 to go. And we're at 51 on the Dono train. 49 to go. Shout out to Bash. And Jack snuck in $1 there that I didn't see until now. Thank you so much, Jack. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts, and again, for the people that think, well, I guess I could donate, but again, I don't know if a dollar, makes a difference, but every dollar adds up, with all the individuals that are watching, and usually we'll have, about 3,000 to 4,000 people watching, on the daily until we get, after the All-Star break. And if we can start going on a win streak, that number will climb. And obviously if we can make a deep run in the playoffs, it'll go from, a few thousand people to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 people. And again, every dollar counts. Every comment is appreciated as long as it's positive. And obviously all the subs and all of the support matter as well. Slow dribbler there by the big dumper. Toe tap on the bag, and that is one away. Next up is Josh Naylor. Got to find a way to get some contact today. Obviously with Crawford, Rosarina, and Canzone, not being able to get it going, obviously striking out swinging or looking. Cal with the little ground ball. And again, we had a tough time yesterday against the Angels getting anything past the infield. So hopefully we'll be able to get a few bloopers into the outfield and a few home runs. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Cease to Naylor. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. C in the building, what's good? Joe in the building, what's good? Dave is in the building, Angry in the building. 2-0 pitch, little line drive. Clement is there, and that is 2 away. And Clement is having an all-star, type of year, and he's like Cole Young. Anything that goes to his area, he gobbles it up, and it's very rare that you're going to get anything past Clement or Young in that area that's hit in between first and second. It's got to be a pretty high-velocity hit, to get it going, but not impossible. All right, next up is Mr. Hustle, Luke Raley. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. Dylan Cease, 4-4 record, ERA of 3.02. And we got Mr. Hustle himself, Luke Raley, with 14 homers, tied for first there with Julio in the box. Big swing and a miss, high and away for Mr. Hustle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Luke Raley. Can we get a nuke out of Luke? He's definitely overdue. 1-1 pitch, popped him up, and out of play. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Happy 4th of July weekend. One-two pitch. Hard hit ball by Raley into left field, out of play. And I will be at the game tomorrow, so there will not be a stream on my end here tomorrow, but I will end up hopefully getting a foul ball and some memorabilia there tomorrow, and hopefully a dub for the Mariners, and I'll be back on Sunday with George Kirby on Peacock at 2 p.m. Pacific. So it'll be probably the only game I go to all year unless, we are able to get playoff tickets and we end up going then. And usually my best friend will go a couple times, with his dad, once or twice, and then with me. But obviously I got responsibilities with Paisley. So usually, at least in the last couple years, it's usually just the 4th of July weekend game that I've been going to. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Cease is on point here early, and down goes Luke Raley, and that is the end of the second inning. All right, let's go to the top of the third and see who's up next here for the Blue Jays. Next up for the Blue Jays in the 8-hole, DHing Sean Keys. Batting second in the 9-hole, shortstop Andres Jimenez. And back at the top of the order, 0 for 1, right fielder Nathan Lucas. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We're at 51 on the dono train for the Paisley Pup Vet Fund. 49 to go for our first goal. We're 5 subs away from 24,400. If you haven't subbed to the channel and you would like to, please do. And let's see how close we are to 100 likes here in the broadcast. We got 168 in the room on this Friday night between the Blue Jays and the Mariners. And we're at 60. We're almost there. 40 more to go. And shout out to all the individuals that ended up hopping on the dono train yesterday. We hit about maybe a quarter of the goal of the $400 vet bill that kind of came out of nowhere for me yesterday morning. And again, every single dono, not only today, but all month long will go towards that. And everything would be greatly appreciated. End of the second inning, 0-0, Blue Jays and Mariners. So far with Dylan Cease, 2 innings pitched, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, 4 Ks, 31 pitches, 20 strikes with a 2.95 ERA. He's locked in early. And Castillo, 2 innings pitched, no hits, no earned runs, key stat, no walks, only 2 Ks, but 32 pitches, 23 strikes with a 4.81 ERA. And hopefully we'll be able to get Castillo's ERA in the high threes sooner than later. Which may not sound like a whole lot, but I mean, if we're talking about our worst pitcher, our sixth, anything that's not 5 or 4 would be great. 0-1 pitch, little dribbler up the middle, and Castillo puts his glove down, but no time for Cole Young to get there, and a single up the middle there by Keys. Next up in the 9-hole, shortstop Andres Jimenez. On deck is Nathan Lucas. And a line drive. Drops. Run. Get it, Victor. Uh-oh, this guy's really quick. He's coming home. Throw. Ah. And wow, what speed there by Keys. 1-0 Toronto. And again, we know that Luis Castillo usually only has 1 bad inning. Hopefully this one won't be for 3, 4, 5 runs. But just like that, back-to-back hits turns into a 1-0 deficit for the Mariners here early. Keys in the 8-hole and Jimenez in the 9. Next up is Nathan Lucas. On deck is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Got to have the bats come alive. Come on, Ems. And they show bunt. And it's fair. Throw to first. Just in time. That was a great bunt there by Lucas, moving the runner over. Next up is Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and we have to be happy that we're not dealing with Springer today, but he may be in the lineup tomorrow. First pitch is high and away to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 1-0 count. Pitch. Hard hit ball into right field, out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Vladdy. Hard hit ball into right field. And just like that, another hit, 2-0 Toronto. We got to stop the bleeding here. I think we need a mound visit by Cal, but again, this is our worst pitcher. So you can't expect him to pitch, a shutout or being like Bryce Miller. But again, as long as the offense can come alive, it won't hurt as bad. But obviously at this moment, being down 2-0, not ideal, but again, it's not something that we can't come back from. But, we definitely need Castillo to kind of settle down here. Again, we don't want to be down 5-0 in the 4th inning. And now the best hitter on the team for the Blue Jays is up next with 19 homers on the year, Kazuma Okamoto from Japan. We need a double play bat. 0-1 pitch, line drive into left, and Castillo is just giving up hit after hit after hit. My God. And Okamoto decides to get on board, and now we got runners at first and second with one out. Can we get a double play, please? We're already down 2-0. I don't want us to be down 3, 4, or 5. And the most that we typically can come back from is 5. And I would really like it that we're not down 5-0 in the third. Next up is Dalton Varsho. And now they're going to have a mound visit with Woodworth and Cal. But, not exactly what we want to see. We did see Castillo, be lights out in his last, start. But again, it's Luis Castillo. It's like Andres Munoz. You don't really know what version you're going to get out of Castillo and Mooney. Is it going to be the elite one, where they're just locked in, or is it going to be the bad version? And unfortunately, Mooney has been a little shaky, even though he's had a few good ones in between. And, Castillo was really, really good in his last start. But here today, not looking that great. But again, the faster that we can get on the board, it won't feel as bad. I mean, when they keep piling on runs and we're at 0, that's when it stings more. But if we can get to 1, sooner than later, or 2, it's not going to be as bad. It could just be kind of a hitter's duel compared to a pitcher's duel. But at the moment right now, Cease is out pitching Castillo, and we're not able to hit yet. So we got to get it going. First pitch is high and away to Dalton Varsho, 1-0 count. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. 1-0 pitch, foul tip into the glove of Cal. Slider there down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Varsho. Yeah, but at least we know for sure Castillo won't be on the team next year. And again, we'll have more opportunities by better players like Cade Anderson as that one goes into center. Nice job there by Victor Robles. Runner is tagging. Get him! Get him! You got to be faster than that. If you're going to let slow-ass Vladdy go from second to third on the tag, that's unexcusable. Give me a laser throw. I mean, luckily it wasn't Randy that caught that, but that, catch out there by Victor, and then that, throw needs to be a laser and then another laser to third. Whether it's JP or Colt Emerson getting that ball, and getting that ball to, third base, you got to be quicker. Can't let a slow runner like Vladdy get there. Next up is Alejandro Kirk. We got runners now on the corners, first and third with 2 outs. Let's keep it at 2-0. Come on, Ems. I still believe we can, find a way to win this game. I mean, it's not like we haven't been down in this situation before. Little dribbler up the middle. Get it! Get it! Oh! Got him! Wow, what a play by Colt Emerson. That saved a run. Oh my. Easily would have been 3-0. And who knows? They probably score another couple runs after that. But it shows you how great Colt Emerson and Cole Young really are. These are, the guys that are going to be leading the charge for us for many years to come. And again, I love me some Julio. I love me some Cal. I like me some Brian Wu as well as some of the other players. But obviously, by far at the moment, my 2 favorite players on the team, Cole Young and Colt Emerson. I love the young guns. Nice job there by Colt. Showing the defense, diving, full extension, getting up as quick as he can, and making an accurate throw. JP wishes he could. And good thing Naylor, had the awareness and the body range to be able to get that ball, toe tap the bag just in time. And again, if we don't get that out, realistically, it probably would have been, 3-0, everyone's safe. And then who knows how many more hits they get after that. Because if you keep letting a team hang around, then that big home run happens. And then all of a sudden 2-0 turns into 5-0 or 6-0, and then you may not come back. But great job there by my boy, Colt Emerson. Beautiful. Saving the game early for us. All right, let's go to the bottom of the third, and let's try to get on the board. Let's see, just try to get to 1, to stop the bleeding. Next up in the 7 hole, second baseman, my favorite player at the moment, Cole Clutch Young. Batting second in the 8 hole, playing center field, Victor Robles. And thankfully, Victor, who got hit on the arm wrist area, isn't out like Julio. X-rays were negative, and we definitely need, to be able to have good outfielders, based on these hard hits that we're getting not only today, but in the future series. And then batting third, making that big play, Colt Emerson. We know that he can do it in the box. We know he can do it on defense. And let's see if the young guns can get it done here for the M's. Tridents up. Let's go M's. And I love me some defense. I get hyped up for RBIs and home runs, but nothing gets me more excited than big defensive plays that save runs, whether it's robbing a home run, getting a double play, or seeing a play like Colt Emerson just did right there. We gained 2 more subs since the commercial break. 3 subs to go to 24,400. Love defense, and I love two-way players. And that's probably why, I love Cole Young and Colt Emerson and Julio, as much as I do. And obviously we know Cal Raleigh, it gives us such a presence, even though it's been kind of a down year with injuries with him. But again, a much better player, than Mitch Garver. And, Pareda is still in AAA. Hopefully we'll be able to bring him up at some point or another as well. He was definitely a much better hitter than Garver. But let's see if Cole Young, who's been top 3 in the American League for second basemen as far as majority of the categories this season in his second year. Let's see if Cole can get something going for us in the bottom of the third. 0-1 pitch, takes another strike down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Cease to Young. And even though I can't afford jerseys at the moment, my next 2 are definitely going to be Cole Young and Colt Emerson. There's no doubt about that. I don't think there's anybody else I would really buy a jersey of. And I guess if I had to go for a pitcher, it would probably be Wu, but I definitely would go Young and Emerson before I would think of getting anybody else. 1-2 pitch. And there we go, my boy. My favorite player on the team, Cole Clutch Young, showing you how clutch he can be. Let's go, baby. Great job, Cole. Offense, defense, he can do it all, just like Colt. Let's go. Love me some Cole Clutch Young. Next up is Victor Robles. Drop the bunt down if needed, Victor. And there he goes. He drops the bunt, but it ends up being foul. And again, you got to be able to think outside the box. Sometimes you got to be able to do things that, maybe you don't really want to do, but need to do. Most strikeouts since 2021. Cease at the top with Wheeler, Gossman, Nola, and Logan Gilbert. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. And throw to first and safe. And Robles, there we go, baby. And there we go. The bottom of the order isn't the problem. And look at this pitch in the Supermo. Right down the middle. And Victor Robles, not the greatest hitter, but again, he's going to do his best filling in for Julio in center field. And on an 0-2 count, most times that's a strikeout for Victor. And he ends up getting a beautiful hit to left. Runners at first and second. Next up is Colt Emerson. And we already saw what he was able to do defensively, saving us a run from being down 3-0. Let's go, Colt. Colt shows bunt. And Young back to second, safe. And the last thing that we need is any of our runners to get thrown out. Runners at first and second with no outs. We got to take advantage. One pitch, a little dribbler towards first and foul. Let's go, baby. The young guns, they really do make a big difference, and I haven't been this excited for, 2 young players since Julio and Cal. And honestly, with the Cole Young and Colt Emerson hype is on that level, if not higher. A lot of expectations, but they're living up to it. Hit right up the middle. Double play. Oh, I don't know. Let's challenge. Emerson might have gotten there on time. Are we going to challenge this? Let's see. It looked like Emerson got pretty close. At least the initial look. Let's look again. Looks like he is out just as the foot was going up and on the way down, and it looks like the ball ended up getting into the back of the mitt. That's unfortunate. Double play there, but we do have a runner at third now with 2 outs. First pitch is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Let's see if JP Crawford can make up for his error and get either a walk, hit by a pitch, or that RBI single that we desperately need, unless he can come up with a 2-run jack to tie the game up. He definitely is due for one of those big plays. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. Knuckle curve there from Dylan Cease. 1 ball and 1 strike. With a runner at third, Cole Young with 2 outs. Come on, Mariners. The closer that we can get on the board, we can keep pace, especially with Castillo still on the mound. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to JP Crawford. Come on, JP. Two-one pitch, takes a strike. Nope, pitches low and at the knees. Good take there. 3 balls and 1 strike from Cease to Crawford. Vincent with a 5er. Thank you so much. And great job there by JP Crawford as Paisley's coming in here with her cone to watch the game and spend time with Dad. Good take there by JP Crawford. Shout out to Vincent with the 5er. And now we got runners at first and third for Randy Arozarena. Shout out to Vincent. Appreciate you. Come on, get Cole Young. We got to get him to score here. We got to be able to keep pace with this Blue Jay team. And Randy Arozarena hit up the middle, throw to first, and runner is stranded at third. Damn it. And that is out number 3. At least we're, getting some guys on, but again, we got to have the right combination of guys together. And I'm not really worried about the bottom of the order. Again, I know that Cole Young and Robles and Emerson, can get the job done. My concern is at the top of the order, in the middle of the order. JP, Randy, and Dom, it's like I got more faith in probably Dom than anyone out of those first 2, but I know JP can get on base with walks and whatnot. Cal, Naylor, and Rayleigh, should be more trustworthy, but, it's been kind of a streaky slope and a slippery slope for those guys as of late. But hopefully Castillo doesn't give up another run or 2 here. All right, let's go to the top of the 4th inning and see who's up next here for the Blue Jays. Next up in the 6th hole, left fielder Yohendrick Pinango. Batting second, 0 for 1 in the 7-hole, second baseman Ernie Clement. And batting third, 1 for 1 with a run, DHing Sean Keys. Tried ends up. Let's go M's. Unfortunate that we weren't able to get it going. They got 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors so far. We have 0 runs, 2 hits, 1 error by JP. Hopefully he'll make up for it before the game is over. And again, we just got to be able to get Cease's pitch count up. We don't want him to be going, 6, 7, 8 innings. It's going to be really tough to come back from that. And hopefully we'll be able to get the pitch count up. He's at 48 pitches and Castillo's at 46. So they're kind of keeping pace with each other. And, hopefully we'll get our first run on the board sooner than later. Tried ends up. Let's go M's. We're 3 subs away from 24,400. Let's see how close we are to the likes, to 100 as we go to the top of the 4th inning. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Shout out to our female audience, as well as everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. We are global, and we're at 75 likes, 25 to 100. Oh, 1 pitch, big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes to Yohendrick Penyango. Judah in the building, what's good? 0-2 pitch. And a foul tip into Cal. Hopefully he's not hurt. And we've been getting a lot of foul tip, baseballs that have landed in areas where there is no padding. And Cal is definitely wincing, and hopefully he'll be able to tough it out. We know Cal is very tough, and we've seen a lot of other players, hit it, on a foul, tip and, hit it into their own, leg or thigh or foot area. And that got him in the inner thigh. That's going to leave a big strawberry for Cal. And hopefully he'll be able to walk it off and tough it out. 0-2 pitch, high and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yohendrick Penyango. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. There is a nice punch out there by La Piedra and Luis Castillo, and that is 1 away. And again, you have to realize, what Bryce Miller did yesterday, you're not going to get that from Luis Castillo often. Maybe a couple times during a season, he'll look like Bryce Miller, but then the rest of the time, he's going to look like what we kind of expect. And again, we have to just make sure that we match, bat for bat, otherwise it's going to get out of hand. First pitch goes towards J.P. Crawford and out of play towards third base by Ernie Clement. 0-1 count. Happy 4th of July weekend, everyone. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend with fireworks and fun with the family and friends. 0-1 pitch. Foul back behind the plate. No balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Clement. And I know all the Cole Young and Colt Emerson jerseys, as far as like large and above, have been sold out on the team store for the Mariners, and the only one they have right now is white. But at the stadium, at T-Mobile itself, they may have other options, and I'm kind of excited to see if they have a teal, or a blue, Cole Young or Colt Emerson. Obviously, if I were to get, a jersey, I think the teal would be next on the bucket list. And then I don't have a blue, so, you got to be able to get all the colors. And then my best friend has got the cream from last year. We don't have a steelhead jersey either. He's got, a couple Julios, a Julio All-Star jersey, and the cream Julio, and a Ken Griffey Jr. gray like myself that I gifted him. And then he's got the Cal Raleigh City Connect like myself, as that's popped up to Victor Robles. But we're definitely both going to be looking at Cole Young and Colt Emerson, but I don't really know if they're going to have a lot of options, let alone if they're going to even have our size, but you never know. Clement flies out to center, and that is 2 away. Yeah, the steelhead ones are kind of plain, but sometimes plain is nice. Sometimes when you get them too flashy, sometimes it's just a little much, but I think I like the ones that, they're wearing this year that say Seattle rather than the older ones that they wore in the past that said Steelheads. I think the one that just says Seattle in the front is a little bit more plain and clean. And I think it's a pretty slick jersey. I mean, it's not flashy really, but we don't wear the grays anymore. We've retired those for a couple years. We wore the creams last year and the year before, and we're not wearing those this year either. So obviously they have to make room for, other options. And I mean, who knows? Hopefully we'll be able to wear, the vested jerseys one day, the white cutoff jerseys that they ended up wearing in the mid 90s in the Griffey era. I really like those, but that would take a special circumstance, to wear in summertime. You probably wouldn't wear those, in spring or fall, but I really love those. And then they wear like the turtleneck, that matches with that. It's a real clean look. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Keys. But I really like all the jerseys for the most part. I mean, there's not really one that I don't like. Just some are a little bit more, eye-popping. Like I feel like the City Connect and the teal are the most like eye-popping, and then the white and the blue are just kind of standard, home and away, but they look good, and then obviously you have the steelhead and some of these other options as well. Pitch popped up and out of play there by Keys. Count now is 3 balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Keys. Top of the 4th, 2-0 Blue Jays with nobody on and 2 outs. Now, and none of my friends own a Steelhead one. They're kind of hard to find. I mean, they're not available really in that many locations and whatnot. Like, I don't even think I saw any available on the team store, and I imagine they might have some at the stadium, or at a, store, nearby the stadium. They might have options there, but they got a couple team stores inside of T-Mobile, like a small one, and they have different vendors, that you can go to, and then they have like the main one that has a lot of options. As a hard hit ball goes into the gap, run, Randy, you lazy ass. And then Victor finally gets it. God, Randy is goddamn the laziest mofo out there in left field. I swear there's just like no urgency or effort. I mean, if it goes in between left field and center, he never goes for it. He just gives up and just, and hopes that Victor or Julio or whoever's playing center will eventually get it, man. And as good of as a hitter Randy is, man, it pisses me off when I see laziness. I love guys like Luke Raley that hustle, Cole Young and Cole Emerson and Julio and Victor, but goddamn, Randy is not it. Jesus. And then we got Laz Montez, obviously in the farm system that can play outfield. Maybe he'll be able to take Randy's spot in the future or something, even though he usually plays right field. But nothing gets me more irritated where I see people giving up, It's not like we're the Dodgers and we can just, score 5, 10, 15 runs every game. And even then, it wouldn't be acceptable. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. And that's probably why I'll never have any Randy Arozarena memorabilia whatsoever. Hell, if someone gave me something of Randy's, I'd give it back. I said, you can have it. And again, that might have been acceptable in the Tampa Bay Rays, but not fucking here. 2-0 pitch. Takes a strike right down the middle. But I do appreciate what Randy's brought in the box. He has been one of the most consistent hitters on the team and has only had that one little minor injury, when he actually hustled to first base for the first time and then he tweaked his hammy. Go figure, karma, but I hate guys that don't hustle. 2-1 pitch, popped up. I'd rather have a guy, that hits 5 to 15 home runs, that hustles in left field, than someone that hits 30 to 50 home runs that plays shit defense like Randy on ground balls. And again, I know home runs are for a lot of people, but think about how many runs and hits that he gives up by being lazy and left. It's just golly. Top of the 4th inning, 2-0 Blue Jays with a runner at second and 2 outs. Come on, Castillo. I mean, we saw Victor Robles sacrifice his body going into the wall and the netting and hitting the structure and almost being out for the year. You can tell the guys that will sacrifice their body for the team, Victor Robles, Julio Rodriguez, Luke Raley, for guys in the outfield, but never, ever Randy Arozarena. Maybe he's just too good for, to sacrifice his body for the team, I don't know what it is about him, and again, if he actually had effort, he could end up being one of the best all-around players, if he actually fucking hustled. And I don't know why the coaching staff doesn't point that fact out. I mean, it's game in and game out. Ridiculous. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees. But I guess it's like in sports, right? Like in the NBA, where you get guys that have pride for offense and defense, and then there's other guys that only want to shoot the ball, and they're not willing to put in the extra effort to stop the opponent. And I guess it's the same way with Randy. He's just one of those guys that wants the ball, wants to shoot, but doesn't want to be able to stop anyone or defend. 3-2 pitch, high and away, and that is a walk. But at least Randy can catch pop-ups. Otherwise, I would just say get rid of him. And Jimenez is walked, and now we got runners at first and second with 2 outs. Come on, Mariners. And now we got Nathan Lucas back at the top. And let's see if we can get this last out and keep this game at 2-0 with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on deck. And at least Castillo didn't give up, 3, 4, 5. But again, if Colt Emerson doesn't make that diving grab and throw to first, we would have been down 3, 4, 5. The runner would have scored, and who knows how many more hits they would have gotten after that. Because it just kind of feels like when a team gets on a run, they get a cheap hit here, a walk here, a cheap hit there. And then if you don't get that last third out, eventually a big home run ends up typically happening. And then sometimes the game is out of reach. Hard hit ball. Look at Cole Young. That's what I'm talking about, baby. And again, sometimes you need great defenders, even when they're young. And Cole Young making a great line drive out. Great job there by my favorite player on the team, Cole Clutch Young. All right, Mariners, it's time to get on the board. We need hits. We need bunts. We need stolen bags. We need home runs. We need everything. Let's see if we can get a rally going here in the bottom of the fourth. And again, if we're not going to be able to tie the game up or take the lead with a 3-run inning, fine. We'll wait for that until later. But let's at least try to get to 1, so that way that 0 stops staring at me in the face here. All right, next up, in the 3-hole, DHing, in the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. Can we get a Dom bomb, please? Batting second, 0 for 1, the big dumper catcher, Cal Raleigh. You're overdue for a home run as well. And batting third, 0 for 1, first baseman, Josh Naylor. Let's see if Naylor can get one into the gap. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Three subs away from 24,400. Let's see where we're at on the likes. We should be getting close to 100. We're at 84, 16 more to go. And if you haven't smashed that like button yet, out of those 173 people, it would be greatly appreciated. The faster that we can get to 100, the faster that we can hit the metrics there. And I believe we're at 56 on the dono train, but I could be wrong. I know we had Vincent with the dono. Thank you, Vincent. Yeah, so I believe we're at 56, 44 to go. First pitch to the Italian Stallion, four-seam fastball is a ball, 1-0 count. Come on, Dom. Got to get Cease out of the game. 1-0 pitch to Canzone. Big swing and a miss with a slider, 87 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Cease to Canzone. And again, Canzone has probably been our best DH since Edgar Martinez. And, we usually get those bigger, slower, home run hitters, but they strike out a lot as a slow dribbler goes towards first and foul. But we get the guys like Jared Vogelback, right? The Mike Fords, the Carlos Santanas. And there's nothing wrong, with guys like that at DH, where they're, besides them striking out too much, but it's either a home run or a strikeout. You typically don't get singles and doubles out of those guys. And more times or not, it's more strikeouts than home runs. But now we finally got a guy like Edgar who can get singles, doubles, triples, home runs, and who actually could play, in the outfield if needed, in Dominic Canzone. And again, I think, it's nice to finally have that guy. And if you remember in years past, sometimes it would take us 50, 60 games to find our DH like Mike Ford. And it's just nice to start the season and, like, okay, Dom is our DH. We feel really good about it. We don't have to look for anybody else, unless he ends up playing in, right field, and then you can have someone else at the DH spot. We have plenty of options, but, really like what Dom has done for us this year, as well as Luke Raley. Pitches outside with a changeup, 78 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. 2-2 pitch is outside. Let's see if Dom can force the walk. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. And there we go. 3-2 pitch. Dom forcing the walk. And here we go. Can this be the inning that we finally get on the board and get to 1 or possibly tie the game up? Oh, and they challenge, and that's going to be strike 3. Yikes. Now we can't catch a break. I was hoping that would be a walk for Dom, but the challenge right on the corner. And down goes Dominic Canzone with the challenge from the ABS, and that is 1 away. No Dom Bomb, at least not yet. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. On deck is Josh Naylor. First pitch to Cal, big swing and a miss with the 0-1 count from Dylan Cease. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour. Oh, 1 pitch, taking another strike. Come on, Cal. No balls and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. But I think it also proves, how hard, baseball and hockey really are. Football and basketball are much easier, to make stats happen, but in baseball and in hockey, there's a lot more effort and skill involved to make things happen, on a game in, game out basis in those sports. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And Dylan Cease is just mowing down our hitters, and that is 2 away. And instead of going for home run swings, we need to go for single swings. We got to adjust. Next up is Josh Naylor. Let's see if Naylor can start a 2-out rally, which we have been very good in the last month with 2 outs. And I don't even need Naylor to hit a home run. Just get a little single in the gap. Single or double. Let's go. And Naylor pops it up. And this is probably going to be a routine play there in right. And that's going to be out number 3. Work the count, Naylor. And again, if things are like this, we might have to wait for Cease to exit. All right, let's go and see in the top of the 5th inning who is up next here for the Blue Jays. Next up for the Blue Jays, 1 for 2 with an RBI and a K, first baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Kind of having a down year, but at least they have a player from Japan, not named Munetaka Murakami, that's making a huge impact. 19 homers. I don't think anyone anticipated that. And the 3-hole third baseman, Kazuma Okamoto. And again, he had his option of choices of going to different teams and probably didn't think the Blue Jays would have dropped off this much after going to the World Series last year against the Dodgers. But Munetaka Murakami and Kazuma Okamoto have been absolutely fantastic as far as, players from Japan that have come over to the big leagues. I don't think anyone anticipated these guys being as good as they are in their rookie seasons. And batting third, 0 for 2 in the 4-hole, center fielder Dalton Varsho. Right hand stop, let's go M's. And as long as Castillo can keep this game at 2, I still have faith that we can come back. 3 subs away from 24,300 on this 4th of July weekend. We need 3 subs to get there. We're at 56 on the Dono train, 44 to go for the Paisley Pup Vet Fund, which we ended up getting about a quarter of the amount yesterday, which is fantastic. And we're at 93 likes. We need 7 more to hit 100. Can we get 7 people to hit the like button so we can get to a hundo? It'd be greatly appreciated. And Paisley's got her cone, laying on a blanket in here, hanging out with Dad. And I know she's going to miss me tremendously tomorrow when I'm gone, as well as me missing her. But it's going to be a fantastic time with my best friend, with a car ride up and eating snacks and listening to some music together. Little slow dribbler up the middle. Cole Young is there. Throw to first. Naylor. Toe tap on the bag, and that is 1 away. And, can't wait to get the bucket hat. Check out the team store. Mingle, with the fans. And we do have one of the regulars on the channel that's going to be there with his family, Lauren. And we'll see if I get a chance to meet up with him, which will be cool. Maybe take a photo and chop it up a little bit. I'm excited to eat some food out there as well. Seattle dog or whatever we decide to get ourselves into. If you haven't had a Seattle dog, it's definitely recommended. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Okamoto. But you get the dog, and usually it's the vendors outside of the stadium, but you get the dog, and then you get the mustard, and then you get the cream cheese and the grilled onions. And people say, ew, cream cheese. But trust me, if you've never had one before, whether it be the Seattle dog, the Griffey dog, the Ichiro dog, it's incredible. It all ties together, and you can get a big dog, probably the size of 2 in the stadium, which you just get a plain bun and a cheap ass hot dog for like $7-8. Hard hit ball in the right. and caught by Luke Raley, thank God. And down goes Okamoto, and that is 2 away. But you can get a big Seattle dog. You can get a chip and a drink, and it's usually like, $5, $6. So, but again, they have so many good options for pizza and Asian food and, whatever you're looking at, they got it there. So I'm definitely excited about that. And I'm really hoping to see if they got any Cole Young or Colt Emerson jerseys out there as well, even though I can't necessarily afford one, but my best friend, may be able to afford it. So we'll see. Bash with a 20. Thank you so much, man. The Paisley Pup Vet Fund would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Bash with his second dono tonight. Bash is the MVP. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Varsho. But just to show how much my best friend, is such a good, person. Like when we went to the 4th of July game last year, we missed Skeens by a day. And we were looking for, jerseys and whatnot. And obviously I didn't have any extra money, at the time. But we looked around at different vendors and different shops. And we thought, oh, we're not going to be able to find a, Cal Raleigh, City Connect, or anything that we really want. And after going to our last vendor that wasn't in the big team store, it was one of the smaller shops. We asked, hey, do you got anything hidden in the back? And they found 2 Cal Raleigh, extra large jerseys hidden in the back. And my buddy bought one for not only him, but for me as well. And they're not cheap. They're almost $200 a pop. And to have a friend that would be willing to do that, pretty special. As Varsho strikes out swinging, and obviously I ended up paying him back later in the fall, but it's always nice to be able to have friends that will be able to do that as long as they have the finances to, be kind and courteous and to be able to, double up on the jerseys. And then on top of that, he was able to get an autographed baseball that was kind of included. If you ended up spending a certain amount of money, you get a mystery ball or whatever. So pretty cool. And I don't know what we're going to be able to get ourselves into tomorrow, but I'm really looking forward to it. Nice punch out there by Castillo. And let's finally get on the board. We've had a couple times, a couple chances, but we haven't been able to cash in. And let's be honest, Cease is a good pitcher, and he always has been a pretty damn good pitcher no matter what team he's on. It's been a little rough when we go against good pitchers, even when they're not lefties. But let's see if we can finally rough him up before he exits. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. All right, next up, in the 6th hole, right fielder Luke Raley. We could really use a nuke from Luke, or even just getting on with a single. Batting second, 1-for-1, second baseman, my favorite player on the team, Cole Clutch Young. Love me some two-way players. And batting third, 1-for-1, center fielder with a single up the middle, Victor Robles. Right hands up, let's go M's. 3 subs away from 24,400. And we should be close to 100 likes. And every dono that we end up getting this month will go towards the Paisley Pup Vet Fund. And that would be greatly appreciated, especially when you have a $400 emergency vet bill coming out of nowhere. All right, we need 3 more likes to get to 100. Can we get 3 people to hit that like button out of the 172 in the room? Shout out to our female audience, our new subs, our OGs, as well as everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. Bash himself has donated 70 by himself. Jack with a 1, Vincent with a 5. So we are at 71, 76, 24 more dollars to get to our first goal. Bash, the MVP in this stream so far. Shout out to Vincent and Michael as well. 0-1 pitch by Cease to Raley, fouled out of play. Shout out to Jack. Shout out to Vincent. Shout out to Bash. Appreciate you guys. Bottom of the 5th inning, 2-0 Blue Jays. Luckily, Castillo didn't give up 4 or 5 runs in that one single inning. We just need to get, back-to-back hits or get that home run to get us going. 0-2 pitch from Cease. And Raley, hard hit ball. But it's in center field and 1 away. Appreciate that, Deb. Try dance up. Let's go M's. Next up, a guy that can play offense and defense, Cole Clutch Young. Let's see if Cole can get us going again. And kind of a damn shame that we weren't able to get it done there. Emerson, if he didn't hit into the double play, I think that would have been the inning that we would have scored, because it's not like Robles gets hits often, and he's going to have to step up while Julio is on the concussion protocol. So 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Cease to Young. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And I love food. I don't discriminate on food, I love being able to be open, and a hard hit ball by Young, fading foul, but again, Asian food, Mexican food, Italian food, Chinese food, Indian food. I mean, you name it, I love going to Flavor Town, and I'm not going to discriminate. So I'm really excited. And I've never been to In-N-Out, and we obviously know that's more a California thing, but Oregon and Washington have started to get a few more In-N-Out locations, and I've never had it before. My best friend grew up here in Oregon and in California, and I'm really looking forward to trying it for the first time as Young strikes out looking, and that is 2 away. But a double-double or a triple-triple, and getting the fries a little bit more crispy, I heard, because I know they're kind of soft. And then I'm trying to probably take advantage of the Neapolitan shake, which I've heard a lot of good things about, where it's like chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry all together, unless I just get a strawberry one by itself. But I'm really looking forward to that post-game meal on the way back home from the stadium. And a hard hit ball by Victor Robles, back, all the way to the wall, damn it. And that is out number 3. Yeah, I heard the animal fries are pretty good as well. Chris with a tenner. Thank you so much. I got to get what Paisley's doing. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Shout out to Chris with a tenner. Thank you so much. End of the 5th inning, 2-0 Blue Jays. It's about time for us to get on the board. But again, we're going to have to play some defense first. Let's see who's up next here for Toronto in the top of the 6th. Next up, 0 for 2 in the 5-hole, Alejandro Kirk. Batting second in the 6-hole, left fielder Yohendrick Penyango. And batting third in the 7-hole, second baseman Ernie Clement. And only one, kind of rough inning for Castillo. And again, it wouldn't be as bad if we had at least one on the board by now. But again, we still have a chance to win this game. Hard hit ball into center. Robles is there, and that is 1 away. Down goes Alejandro Kirk. Pup is doing a little bit better. Obviously she's on 3 separate medications after having to go to the vet 3 times in 3 months. And, I had no idea that, I was going to have $1,100 worth of vet bills in a 3-month period and $400 yesterday morning. So, but again, she was throwing up 3 days in a row. So I was monitoring that closely. She was biting her tail and acting funny, and she had to get put under anesthesia and looked at, and she's on 3 different medications now, but she's got a cone that she has to wear for probably 2 weeks, which is not ideal. We have to do less walks and whatnot, but overall she's in good spirits, and I'm giving her all the love and attention that I can give besides when I'm working. So pitch is low and at the knees, 1 ball and 1 strike to Penyango. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside with a 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the 6th inning, 2-0 Toronto. Little slow dribbler and foul towards third base. Yeah, I also, I like onions and my best friend doesn't. And I was told if you get the grilled onions instead of the regular onions, it tastes better for the burger. So I'll probably end up doing that. So, but peppers, I don't mind having something like that on it as well. So whether I do the double or the triple, but I've never had it before. So, but I'm not sure if I'll go animal fries or if I'll just go with the, more well done crispy fries, because I know the regular ones are a little bit softer and whatnot. But I definitely want to try one of those shakes. And then I'm looking forward to that meal, on the way back home, hopefully after a Mariners win tomorrow. So pitch fouled off there by Luis Castillo to Pinango. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the 6th, 2-0 Toronto. 2-2 pitch, high and away. And my buddy, used to live in LA. So, he's had in and out probably hundreds of times. And they had a new location probably about 15 minutes, from my house that opened up recently, 15, 20 minutes away. But the wait is still, usually about an hour. And I'm not willing to wait, an hour. But again, some of the locations in Washington have been there for a little bit. So I imagine it won't be as long, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30, maybe less than that. I'm hoping maybe 15, and whatnot. Hell, maybe it'll be, we'll be able to go in, since it's the 4th of July and people are going to be doing other things and whatnot. So, but definitely looking forward to it. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Pinango. 3-2 pitch popped up by Pinango. Luke Raley all the way back towards the warning track, and that is 2 away. Yeah, and I don't really eat fast food anymore. Like I cut out, booze, and I cut out, soda, and I don't eat fast food anymore, and obviously, my exercise and diet have changed quite a bit. I used to eat a lot of fast food back in the day, but again, I used to weigh almost 300 pounds and now I'm at like 195 and I've been that way. So, I want to make sure, I don't get into bad habits, but I usually will do like one, maybe cheat meal, a month, whether it's like pizza or something, but definitely looking forward to the opportunity tomorrow evening. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Clement. And I guess I just have to decide if I want to go double or triple and whatnot. If I'm going to have it for the first time, why not, go big or go home? Line drive up the middle. Young is there. Wild throw to Naylor. Jesus. And that was a bad throw by Young. I don't know what happened there. That's not something that happens that often. We already got a bad throw by JP, and that should have been a routine play. I don't know if it slipped out of his hand, but come on, Young. You're much better than that. And a throwing error by Cole Young. A routine play right there. Come on, man. And it just seems like some of these baseballs are floating, a little bit to Josh Naylor. But unexcusable. JP with an error, Young with an error today. Come on. Yeah. But no matter how long the wait is, we already had this plan from last year. So, especially when he's known that I've never had it before. So I'm definitely looking forward to the experience. Has anybody had any of the shakes there before? Or the Neapolitan shake that's chocolate, vanilla, strawberry? I've heard really good things about that. But I know not everyone is a shake kind of person. But I love me a good strawberry shake if I can find one. 2-0 pitch. Takes a strike right down the middle. Like when I was a little kid, I used to do like crayfishing and crawdadding as like one of my first jobs with my dad and my dad's friend. And this is back when like Burger King had Whoppers at 99 cents, but a good Whopper and back in the day and the 90s, and obviously a great strawberry shake and onion rings went a long way. And a hard hit ball to Luke Rayleigh in right, and that is out number 3. And I know, Black Bear Diner, has got a really good strawberry shake. I had that a few weeks ago, but, I like a good onion ring. I like a good strawberry shake, once in a blue moon, but I'm really looking forward to the In-N-Out tomorrow. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 6, and got to find a way to get on the board. All right, next up, 0 for 1, making plays on the defense and the offense. Let's see if we can get something going with Colt Emerson. Let's go, Colt. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K. Third baseman, J.P. Crawford. You already have an error. You and Cole have to make up for it before this game is over. Let's go. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, left fielder, Randy Arosarena. And somebody's got to drop a bunt down before the game is over. We have to try. Things haven't been working so far, and obviously once Cease exits, things should be able to open up. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning, 2-0 Toronto. 3 subs away from 24,400. Gained another sub moments ago. Appreciate that. 2 subs to go to 24,400. We should be over 100 likes by now. We got 189 in the room, and we are at 103. Thank you so much. $97 to 200. And we're at 76 on the Dono train, 24 to go, I believe. Animal style. Can't wait. First pitch to Emerson, big swing and a miss right down the middle. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Cease to Emerson. And we got to get Cease out of the game. He's just rolling on us, and he's at 70 pitches. Castillo's already at 101, so Castillo is done. They're not going to have him go anymore. And we just need to be able to have a few long at-bats to get Cease's numbers up. But at this point, Cease is probably going to go another inning. Yeah, and again, like I said, I love me a good burger, fry, onion ring, shake, but it's like, I with my new diet and everything that I got going on, I mean, maybe I'll have a burger once a year now, which is kind of crazy because I used to have them almost every day, back in the day, switching from different companies and different fast food chains and restaurants and whatnot. But, I'm definitely excited. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Emerson, and that is 1 away. Next up is third baseman J.P. Crawford. Come on, Mariner Moose. Cease has got 8 Ks. Something's got to give. Come on, Moose. We need help. Come on, JP. First pitch to Crawford. Big swing and a miss. 0-1 count. Obviously, when you go against a pitcher that's wheeling and dealing, we struggle. Obviously, when we go against lefty pitching, whether they're good or bad, we typically struggle. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Yeah, Pup is doing a little bit better. Obviously still has to wear the cone for a couple weeks. She's on 3 different medications, but, again, where she's trying to live her best life. And, I'll do anything and everything I can to make sure that she's happy and healthy. Even if it drains my pocketbook dry, gotta take care of her. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. But I'll tell you what, no matter if you're rich or poor, $1,100 in 3 months with 3 separate vet visits, that would hurt anybody's pocketbook, and definitely mine. Definitely did not have that budgeted. You know, usually it's like once a month or once a year, you know, like an annual checkup. And, you know, sometimes that ends up being, you know, 250 to 400 just in one visit, and then having to have 3 in 3 months. She had her first ear infection ever after her annual checkup, and then ended up having, you know, these symptoms of throwing up and then also biting her tail and not, you know, acting normal. And, you know, they had to put some anesthesia and, you know, give her the medicine and figure some stuff out. But seems like she's recovering nicely. Pitch fouled off there by JP. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Cease to Crawford. Happy 4th of July weekend. And love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. 1-2 pitch inside. And every single dono that we get, you know, not only from yesterday, but all month long, will go towards the Paisley Pup Vet Fund to try to get me back on track, you know, with all of, and I'm just lucky I had just enough, you know, money to be able to get her covered yesterday. You know, not a lot of people have, you know, $400+ just sitting in the bank or at home, you know, just being able to, you know, have it available, you know, with bills and everything else that's going on in life. So pitch is low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Let's see if JP can force a walk. 3-2 pitch. And a hard hit ball. Fair. There we go. Finally, JP Crawford. Go, 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 go. And Crawford ends up getting, does he get to second? Yes, he does. Well, at least JP makes up for the error that he had earlier. Nice job, JP. Just like yesterday, he had an error and he made up for it. Next up is Randy Orosarena. First pitch takes a strike right down the middle, 0-1 count. On deck is Dominic Canzone. Got to get a run. I mean, we've had a couple opportunities. It's not as bad as bases loaded 3 times against the Pirates and getting nothing. You know, but again, it's hard, you know, to get a rally going when you come up short, when you get like 2 guys out of 3, and then that third guy can't get that big hit, you know, and Emerson hitting into the double play, which was not ideal after Young and Robles got on board. But, you know, we might have to wait till Cease exits, but it would be nice to rough him up before he leaves. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Randy. And I don't like Randy in the 2-hole, you know, at all. But again, with no Julio Rodriguez for probably about a week or less with the concussion protocol. Thanks a lot, Angels, you know, hitting him in the head, you know, on the double play. And, you know, was really looking forward to seeing Julio tomorrow, and he'll be out for a week. And obviously we've had our fair share of injuries. This is the most injuries any Mariner team has ever had in the last 40 years in a first half of a season. And hopefully after the All-Star break, we won't have as many. First pitch in, the Dominic Canzone is in there for a strike, 0-1 count. Come on, Dom. Oh, 1 pitch. Hard hit ball in the left field, out of play. Come on, Dom. I mean, a home run would be great, but I mean, let's just try to get some singles here. Rebecca with the tenor. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. I will. Oh-2 pitch. Tries to jam him. And he pops up into right field. And that is out number 3. 9 strikeouts, 6 shutout innings for Cease. We need to get him out of the game, but it looks like he'll be pitching at least 1 more inning based off pitch count. All All right, let's see who's up next here for the Blue Jays. And I think the day in between the, Team USA, if we would have not had that break in between, maybe we would have been able to put up, more runs, because we ended up putting up 4 and then 6 and then 8. Then we had a day off, and then the Team USA played, and then we ended up only scoring 1, yesterday. And now we're at 0, but I still think that we can come back. But obviously we need to find other ways to be creative on how to get on base. And I need to see some bunts before this game is over. Next up for the Blue Jays, 1-for-1 with a run, RBI, and a base on ball in the 9-hole. Shortstop Andres Jimenez batting second. Right fielder 0-for-2 Nathan Lucas, and batting third, 1-for-3 with an RBI and a K. First baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And who is coming in for Castillo? He's already had 101 pitches, but he only gave up 2 runs. So, again, if Emerson doesn't make that diving play, it would have been 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. So we'll see how it goes. Two more subs to go to 24,400. Do we got 2 people that can sub to the channel to get those numbers up? And then let's see where we're at on the likes with almost 200 in the room. We are at 109, 91 to go to 200. And I think we are at, I believe, 86, 14 more to get to our first dono goal. And Jose Ferrer is coming in, and hopefully we get the good Ferrer, not the bad. First pitch from Ferrer to Jimenez is low and away, 1-0 count. And we got to have the good Jose, not the bad. We can't have bases loaded or have him give up home runs and ribbies. One ball and 1 strike from Ferrer to Jimenez. 1-1 pitch, line drive. JP is there. Throw to first. Thankfully, it gets to Naylor, and that is 1 away. Good defense there by JP that time around, and that is 1 up and 1 down. Down goes Andres Jimenez. Next up is Nathan Lucas. First pitch is high and inside, 1-0 count. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Okay. Oh, so we're at 96 then. I know we had some other ones in there that you're keeping track of, so. Yeah, because I think we ended up getting one. Yeah, because we got one from Chris that was a tenner. And now we have to see if that hit him or not. And then, yeah, so Chris with a tenner on top of that as well. So 50, 70, 80, 90. Two balls and 2 strikes from Ferrer to Lucas. Two-two pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Ferrer to Lucas. Three-two pitch on the edge, and that is strike 3. Great job there by Jose Ferrer. Come on, Mariner Moose. We need help. Next up is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. Another ball from Ferrer. 2 balls and no strikes to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 2-0 pitch. Low and away. Count now is 3 balls and no strikes to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Low and away. Low and away. Low and at the knees. 3-0 pitch. Finally gets a strike as Vladdy walks to first and has to take a couple steps back. Should have been ball 4, but I don't know if that was just a pity call from the ump. 3 balls and 1 strike to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 3-1 pitch. And that is ball 4. And Vladdy goes to first. And now we have to be careful of the most dangerous hitter on the team that's not named George Springer or Vladimir Guerrero Jr. or Ernie Clement. It is from Japan, Kazuma Okamoto, who's got 19 homers and again is having the same kind of impact as Munetaka Murakami for the White Sox, but definitely not talked about as much considering the Blue Jays record isn't as good as Chicago's. And he pops up to Victor Robles, and that is out number 3. All right, come on, Mariners. We got to find a way. We got 3 hits, but we have 2 errors. But again, no Julio in the lineup. It definitely is affecting us to a certain degree. But again, errors are not ideal, but something's got to give. I don't know if that means that we need Miles Mastroboni to come in and pinch hit since he's on the roster now from AAA filling in for Julio, but we need a spark at some point or another. And obviously, we need Cease to get the hell out of there. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with a K, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting second, 0 for 2, first baseman, Josh Naylor. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, right fielder, Luke Raley. And all 3 guys have the ability to hit home runs, but just haven't been able to get into a rhythm as of late. All right, we're 2 subs away from 24,400, 102 away from 24,500. And again, we are, 602 away from 25,000. Can't wait. Let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning. We got a 3-inning sprint to be able to tie this game up and win 3-2. All right, we're at 116 likes, 84 to 200. Shout out to our female audience, all our new subs, all of the OGs, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. JP's got a hit. Cole Young and Victor Robles got a hit, but nobody else. And something's got to give. We got too much talent on this team, but again, Cease has pitched well, and we struggle against good righties. We struggle against any kind of lefty. Whether they're really really good, or if they're really really bad. But something's got to give. And sometimes something as simple as a bunt, if you end up getting on base safe, can start a rally. Unless we're lucky enough to get a homer on Cease before he exits. First pitch, big swing and a miss there by Cal. And again, Cal needs to dial it back and not go for home run swings on every pitch. And it seems like, since he's come back from the injury, that's all you pretty much see. At least 90% of his swings, he's going for the moon, and more times or not, he's missing, with big swings and misses. Dial it back and get us on base with a single or double. Striking out every time ain't fucking working. 1-1 pitch. Low and at the knees, or be patient enough to take a walk like you did yesterday. He had an 0-2 count and then drew a walk, and that was enough for JP to come home with bases loaded, and we got that freebie from third to score, and we won 1-0. And it's not easy to draw a walk with an 0-2 count, but Cal did it yesterday. 2-1 pitch, low and at the knees. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike to Cal Raleigh. And Cal usually gets his best swing on a 3-1 or a 3-0 count. And let's see if we get a little bit of that Soto Mojo or Mariner magic here. Come on, Cal. 3-1 pitch, popped up and out of play. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. And it's not like we're down, 5 or 10-0. I mean, we're only down by 2 runs. All it takes is one, good half inning, 1 or 2 good swings, and we're right back in the game. And we obviously have a 3-inning sprint here in the 7th, 8th, and 9th to get 2. We can do it. 3-2 pitch, popped up. Should be a routine play here in shallow left. You had 3 Blue Jays converging on the play, and not a lot of communication, but they don't run into each other. But they end up making the out, and that is 1 up and 1 down. Next up in the 5-hole, first baseman Josh Naylor. And Cease is finally at 93 pitches, so he's almost done. This will be the last inning for him. And then obviously hopefully they'll have a meltdown in the 8th and the 9th, unless we can get him to exit this inning, with like a home run, and then beat up on the next guy, and then we're right back in it. But we can still win this game 3-2, assuming that we don't give up any more. But, I don't really know who's going to be coming in after Ferrer. I got Jeff Hoffman warming up, the righty in the pen. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. The nail is Josh Naylor. Right ends up. Let's go M's. Happy 4th of July weekend, everyone. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Cease to Naylor. And I really, really hope I can get a Cole Young or Colt Emerson foul ball tomorrow. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Cease to Naylor. Bottom of the 7th inning, 2-0 Toronto. 2-2 pitch. Hard hit ball out of play. And we also have to be kind of thankful that Springer isn't playing today on paternity leave, but he may be in the lineup tomorrow. But again, we don't have Julio, so that kind of evens out, I guess. But again, not having Julio Rodriguez is not ideal. And we know sometimes Julio will go 0 for 4 or 0 for 5, but just having his presence in center field is nice. But Victor has played well there today, hasn't had any errors or any, bad looks in center. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Cease to Naylor, and he's at 98 pitches, so he's almost done. And then, again, hopefully we'll be able to knock Hoffman around. 3-2 pitch to Naylor. Naylor pops up, and that should be a routine play here for Toronto in the infield, and that is 2 away. Just not our day today so far. And next up in the 6-hole, right fielder Luke Raley. And I couldn't think of a better time for Luke to get a nuke right now. And then hopefully the bottom of the order can help us win the game with Young, Robles, and Emerson. I have the most confidence in those 3 guys at the bottom of the order rather than the guys at the top and the middle. Bottom of the order is the strongest, then the top, and the middle is the weakest with Cal, Naylor, and Luke, which is crazy because they all can hit home runs, but they just haven't been able to be very productive lately. They got the ability to make big plays, but they just haven't been doing it lately. First pitch is fouled off with a changeup, 76 miles an hour by Cease, who's almost out. He's at 101 pitches, which is what Castillo had. 0-1 pitch, drop. Fuck, and they can't even get a little blooper to drop, and a big catch there from Okamoto. And that is out number 3. I was really hoping Luke could get that little blooper, and we can't even get a little blooper to fall. Yikes. All right, let's go to the top of the 8th inning. And there's always a lot of Blue Jay fans in Seattle during this, whether it's the 4th of July or any time they come, obviously from Canada to Seattle. All right, we got 2-inning sprint to go, and obviously it'll be Hoffman and then whoever else, and we just have to hope that they have a meltdown and we can get lucky enough. But at least we're going to have Young, Robles, and Emerson one time in the 8th, and hopefully that'll be the inning that we tie the game up. Next up for the Blue Jays, 0 for 3 with a K, center fielder Dalton Varsho. Batting second, 0 for 3, catcher Alejandro Kirk. And batting third, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, left fielder Yohendrick Penyango. And I'm curious to see who they're going to be bringing in. Hopefully it's not a AAA pitcher, unless it's like Nick Davila. But, when we do have a 2-0 lead, we don't want to have a, bad option like Simpson, the lefty, or Rucker. Because at that point, if those guys come in, then they're kind of giving up, and then hoping that those guys can get it done. But I'm hoping it's someone strong. And what do you know? It's fucking Rucker. So that means Dan Wilson is essentially given up. I mean, unless Rucker can get the job done, I'm not saying he can't, but, I would have rather seen someone more productive, unless they're going to try to save that for the 4th of July game tomorrow. But it's not like we're down 5-0 right now and the game is over. If we can actually have someone solid, get these last, 3 outs in the 8th, and then we tie the game up. But again, let's just hope that Rucker doesn't give up a run. Kind of had a feeling it was going to be one of the AAA guys coming in. But I really don't like Dan Wilson's managing style. Not one bit. But let's see if Michael Rucker can get the job done. And we've seen the good Rucker and the bad Rucker, so let's just hope that this is the good. All right, Rucker comes into the game, AAA pitcher, high ERA. And we just have to cross our fingers that the game is still 2-0, and then Cole Young, Robles, and Emerson can get us to where we need to go. Yeah, and we got Logan and Hancock tomorrow, so why not use our better guys? Like, why not Gabe Spire, or something like that, And again, I would love Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan whenever they decide to bring those guys up. I mean, even if it's just bullpen help, it would help tremendously. Even those guys being super young, I have more confidence in them than I do with Rucker or Simpson or Hoppy. Nick Davila has been pretty good, but he walks a lot of guys, but normally, you wouldn't say you have that much confidence in guys that are in single A, high A, or double A, like Sloan and Anderson, but they're that legit good that I think that they could be called up and help us win immediately. People have to remember, Cade could have been the first pick in the draft overall. And, the Nats, went for a positional player. The Angels went for a different pitcher. And we were lucky to get the Natty, winner from LSU, first round pick number 3. 2-2 pitch popped up. And I think Cade is going to be a star. There's no doubt about it. He's got the electric stuff and flies out to Robles. And that is 1 away. Next up is Alejandro Kirk. So far, so good for Michael Rucker. First pitch is a ball to Alejandro Kirk, 1-0 count. Come on, Michael. But I don't really have a whole lot of confidence in the AAA guys besides maybe Nick Davila. And Sloan is really special too. I don't know a lot of y'all, if you guys follow, the farm system and, watch any of those games or at least watch highlights. Or follow the highlights on like Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter/X, but they got a lot of potential, and again, with the guys that we have that are AAA guys in the pen, they're not really that reliable. And it's, very possible that Sloan and Cade could get roughed up, but I think I would like to see them rather than the guys that we have now, but they're going to be easing those guys slowly into the team. But I would love to be able to see them, make the team sooner than later. Sloan will probably be on the team next year, and Cade will probably be on the team by the playoffs, if not sooner. At least I'm hoping. 3-1 pitch is in there for a strike. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Alejandro Kirk. Top of the 8th inning, 2-0 Toronto. 3-2 pitch and a hard hit ball in the center. Get it, Victor. And Victor Robles showing that he can play like Julio Rodriguez and show some effort out there in center. And honestly, that's the second best option behind Julio in center field, Victor Robles. Good job. So far, so good here with Rucker. And hopefully this will be the last batter for the Blue Jays in the 8th. In the 6th hole, left fielder Yohendrick Pinango. Say that fast 3 times. First pitch is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. Come on, Rucker. 1-0 pitch, big, swing and a miss. And I will be at the game tomorrow, so there won't be a live stream here on YouTube. I will be at the game. Probably the only game I go to unless we go to the playoff game together, me and my best friend. And then I will be back on Sunday at 2 o'clock for a Peacock exclusive with George Kirby on the mound. So hope everyone has a fantastic 4th of July. Be safe and have a lot of fun with family and friends. And Mariners play tomorrow at 1:10 Pacific with Logan Gilbert and Emerson Hancock on the piggyback. And they may only do the piggyback one more time after that, and then that's it. And then, maybe move Castillo permanently into the bullpen. But even if Castillo goes to the bullpen, that doesn't really solve our problem, but I'd rather have Castillo pitch a half inning rather than, try to pitch 6. But again, he only gave up 2 runs today. Offense needs to wake up. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. And the last start that Castillo has, he was electric. So yeah, he might be our worst starter, but the offense has been in a little bit of a slump these last couple games after scoring 4, 6, and 8. But prior to that, we had 12 or 13 games of 0-3. So offense really needs to step up, and we've haven't been able to have that consistency yet. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Rucker to Pinango. The weather is going to be beautiful. 68 to 70. Sunny skies with a breeze. It's going to be awesome. Not too hot, not too cold, just perfect baseball weather. It's going to be awesome. And this will be my 3rd 4th of July game in a row. Got this hat 2 years ago, got another 4th of July hat last year that I've shown on the channel, and they're doing the bucket hat, which I'm not really a big bucket hat guy, but I'm excited to be able to get one. 3-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. Bobblehead number 1, hat number 2. And hopefully I'll be able to get a foul ball. We got really good seats, about 15, 20 rows back off first base. And usually around section 119 to 121 is like the sweet spot. I've gotten 2 of my baseballs in that area. And then obviously I got the Aaron Judge ball when I sat in the Yankee section. But I got a Julio Rodriguez ball, I got a Kike Hernandez ball, and an Aaron Judge ball. So I've only been to like 9 or 10 games, and I've gotten 3, balls. So I would say that's a pretty good ratio, considering my best friend has gone to like 50 or 60 games and he's had none. So I would like to get him a ball too if I can. Pitch fouled off again there by Pinango. 3-2 pitch, and fouls that one off himself. 4 straight foul balls here from Rucker to Pinango, and make that 5. Cutter 90 miles an hour, fouling it off himself. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. And a hard hit ball into right, bounces right in front of Luke Raley, and Pinango with a single. Next up, second baseman Ernie Clement. I'm actually more excited to see Cole Young and Colt Emerson, and the squad rather than seeing anybody on Toronto. But obviously we know Vladdy is a good player. We'll see if Springer ends up playing tomorrow. And obviously Ernie Clement will be a all-star this year. So it's crazy to think that the Mariners may not have any all-stars, or they'll be kind of on the cusp. Obviously Julio, Randy, not starters. They would be like reserves. But I would rather have Randy and Julio not to make it, and I'd rather have Cole Young and Bryce Miller make it, but I don't, Bryce Miller doesn't have enough innings pitched to necessarily get in, since he was injured at the first part of the year, but he's playing like an all-star. He's deserving of it, but he probably won't get in. And then obviously Cole Young is top 3 in a lot of the stats for second baseman in the American League. And, it would be nice to be able to see Young and Miller. That's who I would want to see as reserves in the All-Star game. But, again, they have a lot of things kind of going against them. People would have to opt out or, get injured. And that is possible, for some guys to be able to get in based off other guys getting injured or opting out. Like Julio opting out last year and Randy getting in. But it seems like right now, as far as like the voting, it was like Randy and Julio were kind of on the outside looking in, but those would be the guys. But yeah, for me, I would rather have Miller and Young get in. 1-0 pitch, little dribbler up the middle, get it. Emerson is there, and that is out number 3. Good job by Rucker. I didn't know if that was going to, happen there, but he doesn't give up any runs. And considering his ERA has skyrocketed from when he was at early in the year, when he was at like 2, and then he got all the way up into the 7s, and now he's at 6.75. But thankfully, he doesn't pull a Hoppy, who's in AAA right now, and just have a fucking meltdown. Because obviously, if they score, a run or 2 or 3, it's over more than likely for us. But we're, still kind of in the mix, even though things have been kind of tough. And now we just got to be able to beat up their bullpen in these last 2 innings. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 2 with a K. My favorite player on the team, second baseman Cole Clutch Young. Batting second, 1 for 2. Center fielder filling in for Julio Rodriguez, Victor Robles. Let's go, Victor. And then batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, Colt Emerson. Let's go, baby. And these are the 3 guys that you would want up. And then after those 3, it would be JP, Randy, and Dom. And, I would assume that JP and Dom would probably have the best chance of making something happen. But again, it's just hasn't been our day. And again, we won 1-0 yesterday, thankfully, but again, we're going to have to really pull out, something special here. Two subs away from 24,400. 1 sub away. We get 1 sub to get to 24,400. We are 1 sub away. 101 away from 24,500. And Hoffman is coming in for Cease. So Cease is finally out of there. Let's see where we're at on the likes. We're at 128. $22 more to 150. All right, now Jeff Hoffman is coming in for the Blue Jays, and hopefully he has a meltdown. First pitch from Hoffman into Young is a strike. 0-1 count. Jeff Hoffman on the mound and Cole Clutch Young in the box. And there hasn't been too many players more clutch in the 7th inning and beyond than Cole, not only for second baseman, but just in general. 0-1 pitch, little dribbler, throw to first. And unfortunately, Young can't be clutch there. That's unfortunate, and that is 1 away. And anything that goes to Ernie Clement, just like Cole Young, usually gets gobbled up for an out. All right, next up is center fielder Victor Robles. Next up is Colt Emerson. Come on, baby. We need help. Who's going to make a play? We have a 2-inning sprint to get to 2 runs. First pitch is low and away. Slider, 86 miles an hour, 1-0 count. It seems like a lot of people that are in Vancouver or in Canada, kind of root for both. But most lean, Blue Jays first, Mariners second. pretty rare to have Mariners first, Blue Jays second if you live in Canada, unless you're from Oregon or Washington and then you move to Canada. But, there is quite a few people that I have met that, support both. But I assume when they're playing each other, they go for Toronto for the most part. But then when they don't play each other, then they root for both to, play well for the most part. If you are a dual fan, to go for both. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Victor Robles. 1-2 pitch, low and away. Good take there by Victor. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Jeff Hoffman to Victor Robles. Two pitch, low and away. Does Victor go around? No, he doesn't. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Hoffman to Robles. Besides the Blue Jays and the Mariners, since the Montreal Expos don't exist anymore, who else do Canadian fans root for if it's not just the Blue Jays and the Mariners? Like, who's the third option in Canada that they root for? Or like jerseys that you've seen or fans that you've seen or heard of? And that's a walk there to Victor Robles. I was always kind of curious of that. After the Blue Jays and Mariners, since the Expos don't exist, who's the third team that they like the most? And Victor draws a walk, so at least the tying run obviously is there. And let's see if Colt Emerson can get a little bit of that Mariner magic. Let's go, Colt. First pitch, big swing and a miss from Hoffman to Emerson. Splitter 88 miles an hour, low and away, 0-1 count. Come on, Colt. Trident's up. Let's go, M. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. We need a miracle here. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. We need a meltdown by Hoffman and a meltdown in the ninth if we have any chance. And then we just have to pray that we can find a way to win 3-2 in regulation or in 10, 11, or 12. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hoffman to Emerson. And Cease was money today. We just couldn't get anything on Cease. Got to give him credit. 1-1 pitch, high and away. But if we have patient at-bats, that'll give us a chance. If we're overly aggressive, game over, more than likely. But if we have a few patient at-bats here in the 8th and the 9th, it will give us a chance. Two one pitch, big swing and a miss. And then I would assume if it's the Yankees and Dodgers, then it's just like kind of bandwagon, Judge, Ohtani fans, because they love greatness and whatnot. But you get that here in the States as well. You'll get a lot of people rooting for Dodgers and Yankees just based on their general greatness and the money that they spend and whatnot. And, Dodgers spending money winning World Series, Yankees spending money and not. But when you got a guy like Aaron Judge, and even for me being a Mariner fan, I mean, I know some people hate Aaron Judge and hate Shohei Ohtani, but I love him. I love greatness. Obviously it sucks when you lose to those guys and whatnot. And we obviously have the rivalry, with the Yankees and whatnot. But as far as just in general, and Judge is injured right now, but, I like Judge and Ohtani. I like, seeing great players play great. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Now, obviously, if we're going against those guys, I want them to do bad, but if they're going against other teams, I don't mind them making history and breaking records. Plus, I ended up getting a Judge ball, so I'm a little biased there too. So, I think anytime you end up getting a ball or memorabilia of a guy, then, sometimes that'll affect your, fandom. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. What a nasty pitch there by Hoffman. And Emerson has been on a little bit of a slump lately, even though I do like him a lot. I love the CNC factory between Cole Young and Colt Emerson, but Emerson definitely has been on a little bit of a slump in the box. Defense, top tier, and he saved us, from, being down 3-0 early in the game, but just hasn't been able to get the rhythm in the box lately. Next up is J.P. Crawford. Let's see if he can make up for his error. He already got a hit to kind of do that, but I mean, if you really want to be the hero, JP, you hit a 2-run jack right here, tie it up 2-2, or you end up getting a hit to keep this inning alive. You fix it by changing the batting order, bunting more, and obviously being more patient in the box. Randy in the 2-hole is not ideal. You need to have Cole Young higher in the lineup, especially with Julio, being out. And I know they want to kind of spread out the lineup, and whatnot, but I mean, if you're gonna have Cole Young in the lineup at 6, 7, or 8 or 9, at some point you might have to switch him up in the 2-hole and see how it goes, for a game or two. I mean, I'd rather have Cole Young in the 2 rather than Randy. And I think that they should have had Mastroboni get a chance to hit. They didn't do that today. And you never know, that could have been the difference. Mastroboni could have ended up getting a single or a double, but they didn't make that move. 1-2 pitch. And JP with a ball hit behind the plate towards the T-Mobile bricks. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hoffman to Crawford. Bottom of the 8th, runner at first with 2 outs. And it's not like we're down 10-0 right now. We just need 1 big hit and the game is tied, or a nice hit and the inning stays alive, where we might be able to get 1 run now and 1 run in the 9th and then try to win it in extras. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. Two-two pitch. And JP with a little dribbler towards first and foul. But it definitely shows, when we have an injury, we don't really respond the greatest, whether it's like Cal out of the lineup or Julio out of the lineup or Naylor or Randy. It's like we typically need everyone, to be playing. And even when that happens, sometimes we lose. But, when you have a key contributor out, it definitely hurts us a lot. And we've had the most injuries out of like any team in baseball this year, as far as like, good players. It's just crazy. I mean, hell, we haven't had Brendan Donovan, it feels like, in years. And we're still going to have to wait a few more weeks for him to come back. But I do think that'll give us a jolt, and that'll help us when he comes back and takes over for JP at third. Better hitter and a better defender. But we don't know what version of Donnie we're going to get after the injury. 3-2 pitch, hard hit ball into left field, out of play. Long at bat here for JP Crawford. And we got Louis Varlin warming up in the pen for the Blue Jays, as was mentioned there by Jack. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first with 2 outs. Barbie in the building. Recovering nicely. She's on 3 medications and has to wear a cone for 2 weeks, but not biting her tail anymore, not throwing up, which is nice. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and Hoffman gets JP. And now we're down to our last inning, but we have to play defense first and hope that we're only down by 2. But they gotta change the batting order for the 4th of July. Again, you got to be able to mix it up. Like if I'm looking at the lineup, I'm probably not having JP or Randy leading off. Maybe I go Cole Young as the leadoff hitter and just to try to mix things up a little bit. If Dom plays tomorrow, I don't mind him being in the 3-hole, but I would move Cal lower in the lineup into the 6-hole. And you just got to move some of these pieces around, because obviously Randy in the top 3 is not ideal. He can't really be trusted. I'd rather have JP, Cole Young, and Dominic Canzone at the top of the order. Move Cal to the 6-hole. But again, I don't know what we're going to have. Obviously no Julio for about a week and whatnot. And we'll see if Miles Mastroboni gets a chance at some point or another as well. All right, let's see who's up next. But I do like the bottom of the order with, usually Cole and Colt pretty close to each other in the lineup. But now we have Nick Davila coming in, AAA pitcher, and he walks a lot of guys, but he hasn't really given up a whole lot of runs. His ERA is at 2.63 after it was at 0 for a majority of the year. And hopefully Davila won't walk too many guys, and hopefully we'll only be down 2-0, and then we just have to pray that we can tie it up and win 3-2 in the 9th inning or in extras, which is a big ask, let's be real. But, that's how we have to be positive. Michael Rucker did a good job, though. So let's see if Nick Davila can do the same. And next up for the Blue Jays in the 8-hole, 2 for 3 today, Sean Keys. Batting second in the 9-hole, shortstop Andres Jimenez. And back at the top of the order, leadoff hitter Nathan Lucas. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We're 1 sub away from 24,400. Did we get it? There we did. Thank you so much. 100 subs to go to 24,500 now. Shout out to all of our new subs. All right, Paisley's in here as well. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. First pitch from Davila to Keys is in there for a strike. Hopefully Paisley will give us some good luck. 0-1 pitch popped up and out of play. The Mariner Moose usually gives us the good luck that we need. We need that Soto mojo and that Mariner magic here on this 4th of July weekend. And again, you know, Castillo being our worst pitcher, you know, it's not like he gave up 5 or 6 runs. He gave up 2, you know, and we just weren't able to get offense going. And normally if a pitcher gives up 2, you know, no matter who it is, we should be able to win, you know, more times than not. But lately we've been on a little bit of a slump after scoring 4, 6, and 8. Having a day off with Team USA and soccer kind of killed the momentum. And we had to get a walk for Cal Raleigh in an 0-2 count to score JP to win barely 1-0 against the Angels yesterday to sweep them. So, you know, got to get back to that 4, 6, and 8 number, you know, but with Julio being out with a concussion, you know, not ideal. And then Robles, you know, x-rays were negative. We could be out with Robles too, but thankfully the x-rays were negative and, you know, he played good in defense and in the box today, but, you know, we haven't been really hitting home runs lately in the last couple games. And then obviously after scoring 4, 6, and 8, if you remember, we had 12, 13 game streak of scoring 0-3. So overall, besides those 3 games that we scored 4, 6, and 8, we've been on a fucking big slump, you know, of hits, RBIs, and home runs. And, you know, injuries, you know, have not been kind to the Mariners this year. But with all that being said, we're still tied for first. We're not 15 games below 500, which we could be. And we just have to, you know, just try to tread water till we get to the All-Star break. 2-2 pitch to Keys. Low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Nick Davila to Sean Keys. Three-two pitch. And that ends up going towards first base and foul, out of play. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Davila to Keys. And if we have any chance of coming back, they can't score not even 1 run. It has to be 2. If they score 1 run, the game is over, more than likely, based on how the game has gone. Unless you get like the biggest meltdown possible. Little flip to first, and Davila toe taps on the bag, and that is 1 away. Now, have we scored 3 runs or more in the 9th before? Yeah. You know, but again, based on how overall the vibes have been, you know, we haven't really been able to get a whole lot going. I mean, hell, we have almost as many errors as hits. We have 3 hits today and we have 2 errors. Not ideal. But again, this is the Mariners and you just never know. You know, sometimes you get that Mariner magic in the, you know, craziest moments. You just kind of don't know what to expect. First pitch into Jimenez, big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. We got more injuries than the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have a lot of injuries, but not as many as us. As far as star players and everything that we've gone through, we're number 1 with the injuries. But the difference is we're in the top of our division. Blue Jays are not. But obviously, we've seen how good that the Rays and the Yankees have been, even though the Yankees are on a current slide, but they're still above 500. So, you know, you got the Rays, you got the Yankees, Rangers and Mariners, and obviously the White Sox and the Guardians. But injuries have definitely hurt both of these organizations this season. The difference is we have more depth than Toronto does. Pitch is high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Davila to Jimenez. Yeah, we have Gilbert and Hancock on the piggyback tomorrow. So, and it's the 4th of July, and traditionally on the 4th of July we play great. So, And a little flip from Cole Young to Naylor, and that is 2 away. Vibes are just different on the 4th of July. Everyone is happy. Everyone's in a good mood. We got special jerseys and hats that we're going to be wearing that are going to be white. But then on the back, it's got like red, white, and blue, like my S on the back of the numbers, which you have seen maybe on social media. And they got a different hat that they're going to be wearing tomorrow as well. So I think the vibes are going to be very high. Temperatures are going to be comfortable at 70 with a breeze. And I expect to win tomorrow. And I expect us to pitch well and hit well. And hopefully get a few home runs. First pitch in there to Nathan Lucas, 1-0 count. And then obviously on Sunday, we got George Kirby on the mound. And if he can pitch like he did on his last start, even if we lose today, we should still have a good chance to win 2 out of 3, I'm hoping. 1-0 pitch, little slow dribbler. Young is there, back to Naylor, and that is out number 3. Good job, by some of our AAA guys, by Michael Rucker and Nick Davila, and a guy that's one of our regulars, obviously, that came in after Luis Castillo and Jose Ferrer. So now we just have to hope that that we can get some of that Mariner magic at some point or another. And this is the last-ditch opportunity here in the bottom of the 9th for us to tie the game up and hopefully win 3-2 in this inning or get 2 runs and win 3-2 in 10, 11, or 12. But it has to start here. 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. Hopefully something can happen. He can draw a walk or get a home run or a single, something. Randy Arozarena batting second, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. The Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. And last but not least, 0 for 3 with a K, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. So if it was like the way that I would like it, Randy gets walked or plunked, Dom gets a single, and then Cal Raleigh hits a 3-run jack and we win 3-2 with a walk-off. That would be like best case scenario, but the chance of that happening is probably 1 in a billion, but you never know. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We're at 24,400, 100 subs to go to 24,500. Shout out to all our new subs, our female audience, our OGs, as well as everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. But I do believe the offense will be better tomorrow and on July 5th with Kirby on the mound. But if we lose this game, it wasn't due to Castillo. It's the offense. I mean, hell, for a good chunk of the year, Castillo was giving up 5 to 8 runs. For him to give up 2, we would be happy for any pitcher to do that. And we're at 143 likes. Can we get 7 more to get to 150? Can we get 7 people out of the 193 in the room to hit that like button? Yeah, Julio's in concussion protocol, so he's on the 7-day injured list for the protocol. Will he have to go all 7 days before he comes back? That is yet to be determined, but it was precautionary. But, after he got hit in the head, he was dizzy. They let him play another inning. And, I thought that he would just miss this game and he would be available for the 4th of July and beyond. But, they want him to be healthy, and his long-term health with the ball club is more important for him than just, trying to get this 4th of July game in. So I'm disappointed that I'm not going to see Julio tomorrow or on, Sunday, but, his long-term health is more important. First pitch from Varland Arozarena, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Line drive is dropped at first, but recovered, toe tap on the bag, and that is 1 away. And we haven't been able to get anything past the infield. Everything has been gobbled up by Clement or Vladdy. And, Ernie is probably going to be the starting second baseman for the American League. I would like to see Cole Young as a reserve, even though he probably won't make it, but he's deserving. And down goes Randy, and that is 1 away. All right, we're down to our last 2 outs. All right, Dominic Canzone and Cal Raleigh. We know both can hit home runs. Come on now. Back-to-back home runs by Dom and Cal. Let's go. First pitch. Low and at the knees, but on the corner for the strike zone to Dominic Canzone. 0-1 count. Come on, Dom. We need a Dom bomb. And we need Cal Raleigh to dump it. We do. Or unless Dom can get on with a single or double and Cal hits the home run. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Dom. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Varland to Canzone. Come on, Dom. One-two pitch. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. 2-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. Did he go? No, he did not. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Louis Varland to Dominic Canzone. Come on, Dom. Three-two pitch, hard hit ball, and drops. Let's go. Dom with a single, baby. All right, we got a chance. It might be a small chance, but just like in Dumb and Dumber, so you're saying we got a chance, and you never know. Dom gets on base with a single into right, and now we got Cal Raleigh. Let's keep it going, baby. Let's see if Cal can be a hero here, or even just get on base to keep the inning going for Naylor and Rayleigh. Someone can be a hero. And we got Weston Wilson running for Canzone. Come on, Cal. You're due for a home run, baby. Single, double, home run, walk, hit by pitch, as long as you don't get hurt, anything. First pitch, big wild swing on a knuckle curve. Come on, Cal. Cal has been really impatient in the box since he's come back from the injury. Timing has been off as well. 0-1 count. Come on, Cal. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Varland to Raleigh. And again, if Cal in an 0-2 count wasn't able to be patient and take the walk, we don't win yesterday. You know, normally with an 0-2 count, you never get a walk. And we were able to get JP with bases loaded to come home after Cal got into an 0-2 hole. And we won 1-0 against the Angels and swept them. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. And we don't have any challenges available. Yeah, and again, you don't want to challenge, twice in the first inning and lose both. And then, you have opportunities late in the game where they might throw garbage and the ump says strike and we can't do anything about it. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Thank you, I will. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Cal still frustrated on that previous pitch that was more than likely a ball, but what can you do at this point? And that is 2 away. And now we have to pray, put your hands together, and hope that Josh Naylor can, keep this inning alive. On deck is Luke Rayleigh. Come on, Nails. Please. Happy 4th of July weekend, everyone. And again, there won't be a stream here tomorrow because I will be going to the game, but I will be back on Sunday at 2 o'clock Pacific. Peacock exclusive with George Kirby on the mound. So have a very safe and fun 4th of July with fireworks and friends and family. I don't know, Paisley, and if you have a dog, you probably know, dogs hate fireworks and whatnot, but, I'm going to miss her and she'll miss me, but I'm going to have a blast with my best friend and hopefully I end up getting a ball. And if I do, you'll see it on socials. Two-0 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. If Naylor would have been patient there, that would have been a 3-0 count. Come on, Josh. Yeah, always a lot of Blue Jay fans when they play the Mariners, no matter what time of year it is. 2-1 pitch. And a ground ball up the middle. And that is ball game. Brutal. Normally, we don't get too many games where we get a 0, but against Cease, ended up beating us, and no Julio Rodriguez in the lineup hurt us. That's unfortunate. But I do have a good feeling about the 4th of July and on the 5th of July with George Kirby on the mound. Tomorrow, it'll be Logan Gilbert and Emerson Hancock in the piggyback, and we have a great record on the 4th of July, so I think we will win tomorrow, and I'm very excited about the opportunity to be there in person. All right, final score, Blue Jays 2, Mariners 0. Let's go over the stats really quick. Obviously, not a whole lot to go over with the Mariners, obviously, but we do this every game. All right, so Nathan Lucas, starting it off for the Blue Jays, 0 for 4. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 1 for 3 with an RBI. Kazuma Okamoto, the number 1 in home runs on the team with 19, went 1 for 4. Dalton Varsho, 0 for 4. Alejandro Kirk, 0 for 4. Yohendrick Penyango, 1 for 4. Ernie Clement, 0 for 4. And believe it or not, 8-hole hitter Sean Keys, of all people, the MVP, 2 for 4 with a run. And then Andres Jimenez, 1 for 3 with an RBI. And then on the flip side, JP Crawford, 1 for 3. Randy Arozarena, 0 for 4. And Randy has no business being in the top 3 in the batting order ever. Dominic Canzone, 1 for 4. Cal Raleigh, 0 for 4. Josh Naylor, 0 for 4, as you can see this bad trend. Luke Raley, 0 for 3. Cole Young, my favorite player on the team, 1 for 3. Victor Robles, 1 for 2. And Colt Emerson, 0 for 3. And Luis Castillo, he gave up the 2 runs, but again, hard to win when you can't even score a run. But I do have a good feeling that we will get back on track tomorrow. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. Have a very safe and fun 4th of July. Shout out to Jack and Bash again and Rebecca, as well as a few other individuals that ended up donating with the stream today. Let's look here. Shout out to Vincent as well. And I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. And shout out to Chris as well for all the people on the Dono train to the Paisley Pup Vet Fund. Final score, Blue Jays 2, Mariners 0. The game will be live at 1:10 Pacific. And look for me in the stands somewhere in first base, about 15 to 20 rows back. Me and my best friend will be both wearing City Connect Cal Raleigh jerseys. You won't be able to miss us if a foul ball goes into that area and the cameraman follows us. And again, hopefully the Mariners will end up getting the dub. It'll be Logan Gilbert to start, Emerson Hancock to finish. And I feel very confident that we'll be able to get the dub. Enjoy the 4th of July with the fireworks and the friends and family. And final score, Blue Jays 2, Mariners 0. And I'll be live again on Sunday at 2 with a Peacock exclusive with George Kirby on the mound here on YouTube. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Tridents up, and happy 4th of July, and go Mariners.